In this lesson, we'd like to provide you with some basic familiarization training for Visual Studio 2005. There are three sections in this block of training. First, we're going to go ahead and get a brief introduction to Visual Studio 2005. We'll cover briefly Visual Studio 2005 solutions and projects. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, we'll get into a demonstration of the help system and the editor. Let's begin with a brief overview of Visual Studio. Microsoft Visual Studio is Microsoft's software development product for programmers. It has a very robust integrated development environment which lets programmers create traditional standalone Windows applications, websites, web applications, and of course web services. The current version of Microsoft Visual Studio at the time of this publication is Microsoft Visual Studio 2005. Visual Studio 2005 was released in October of 2005, and it's available in several editions which are significantly different from previous versions of the product. There's the Express Edition, Standard Edition, Professional Edition, and Visual Studio Team System Editions. The Team System Editions are provided in conjunction with the MSDN Premium subscription that covers four major roles of software development: architects, software developers, testers, and database professionals. The combined functionality of the four Team System Editions is provided in a Team Suite Edition. Express Editions were introduced for amateurs, hobbyists, and small businesses, and are available as a free download from Microsoft's website. There are Express Editions for each of the Microsoft languages like Visual Basic, C#, and J#, each of those targeting the .NET framework on Windows. And there is also the Visual Web Developer for creating ASP.NET websites. The Express Editions lack a lot of the sophisticated and advanced development tools and extensibility that the other editions have, and as such make the Express Editions not suitable for use with Fujitsu's NetCOBOL for .NET. Shortly after Visual Studio 2005 was released, Microsoft also released a number of additional Visual Studio products. For team-oriented development, Microsoft introduced the Visual Studio Team System, which included the Visual Studio 2005 IDE along with a set of server applications, including a source control application called Team Foundation Server. Other new features of Visual Studio 2005 include the Deployment Designer, which allows application designs to be validated before deployments. Visual Studio 2005 also added 64-bit support. Now, the caveat here is that all development for 64-bit support must be done on a 32-bit machine. The code is then compiled into 64-bit executables or assemblies and deployed to a 64-bit machine. And finally, optional languages provided by Microsoft for Visual Studio are Visual Basic.NET, C++, Visual C#, Visual J#, and ASP.NET.